Alright guys, so today we're going to go over the low bar back squat to challenge the glute in its most lengthened position. So when we look at the glute, it sits on the posterior of the pelvis and creates extension, external rotation and adduction. Now the first thing we're going to look at with the setup of this is the feet. Now if you haven't watched the leg press video, go and watch that, it'll help with this. So we're going to take into account our Q angle, which is the angle from the femur to the shin. The angle there is the Q angle. Now women have a wider Q angle, therefore they're going to have a larger stance. So the way we're going to set this up is I want you to chuck your thumb on the side of your hip and you're going to find that bony articulation. Now I want you to put your foot underneath that and slightly externally rotate. Now that's going to be your foot position. Now before we go down into the squat, we want to find our active hip range of motion. Now the way we can do this is by grabbing a post, pulling our leg up and toward our shoulder. Take note of that position as well, because that's going to be your depth in the squat. Now you've got those two things set up, you can go down and do like an air squat, so to say, just to find the position, make sure your external rotation's okay and your feet are further enough apart. The next thing we're going to talk about from here is stacking the rib cage over the pelvis. Now a lot of time when I see people do the back squat, they go into this extended position. Now the thing with this, first of all, the rib cage tilts back and the pelvis anteriorly rotates. Now, as you can see here, this is the back, this is the front. The abdominals are lengthened and the back muscles are in their shortened position. Now, what we know about muscles is when they're in their fully lengthened or fully shortened position, they're weak. So by doing this, we're predisposing ourselves to being in a weak position at the trunk and also at the pelvis. When we go into anterior tilt, we actually place the hamstrings and the adductors as the prime hip extenders, so we're disadvantaging the glute. So what we're going to do is pull that rib cage down and tuck that pelvis under, therefore the trunk's going to be stable. Now moving on from there, the next part is where the bar's going to go on our back. Now you can load this using a safety squat bar, a barbell, dumbbells, whatever way you like, but we're going to look at the barbell today. So there's two main ways to load it, the high bar and the low bar. Now when we load high bar, it allows the knees to travel more forward because we can keep a more upright torso. Now when we go low bar, we're going to be more of a hip flex position to start off with, and our hips are going to go further back, therefore favouring the hip extenders, i.e. the glutes in this movement. Now when putting the bar on the back, you probably see powerlifters when they do it, they go a really wide grip, and the reason for this is because they bench press and deadlift 8 days a week, so they have really poor external rotation. Now, if you're someone who struggles to get into that position and you get like elbow pain in here or your wrists and hands get really sore doing it, then I'd recommend doing a wider grip whilst working on your external rotation. Now, doing that, you're going to feel more comfortable, you're probably going to be more stable. Now, going on from that, we're going to add in using the lats again to stabilize the pelvis, because that pelvis isn't stable and we're trying to move the glute, which would be the band here. We're not really going to lengthen or shorten the glute. So we want a stable pelvis, therefore we can lengthen and shorten the glute effectively in this exercise. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab under the bar and pull our armpits toward our front pockets, therefore using the lats to create stability. Now, the back squat itself is a skill, like it requires a high level of skill to perform. So when people are learning this exercise, they're not going to be able to load it up very heavy, therefore they're not going to provide enough stimulus to actually grow the glutes effectively. Additionally with this is it has a high level of global fatigue, so it uses a lot of muscles in the body, so it's going to fatigue a lot of muscles in the body. This is the reason why you normally see it at the start of the workout. Now if you're learning this but you still want to grow your glutes, this is where the leg press can come in really handy, still provide stimulus to grow the muscle, but also if you're someone who's good at this, extra load on the glutes.